Okay. Now this game we played quite a bit, and this is one title that I should mention is one of two reasons I ever even got into these sort of titles, because we never actually got into the tank-based controls, and we would have had problems with that initially. So we're just gonna go with a straight regular game. Mountain climbing, hiking. Honestly, I could do hiking, but for the sake of this video, mountain climbing, I guess. It's weird that would be a documented paper, isn't it? I always go Joe. Yeah, like, suppose you had like a documented paper that was from the army, and it's actually said, yeah, do you like hiking or mountain climbing? Okay. Anyhow, so, I'm just saying this because, yeah, so the main reason I wanted to try this game out is because I'm probably most comfortable with this game, and even on a GameCube controller, this game felt amazing. This one had a lot of awesome things going on about it, and it revamped everything and made it so much better, and that's anyhow, one thing that I think this game made a lot better was the actual horror element of Resident Evil, because there was no, like, I would have to say there was a horror element to Resident Evil, but that's just because at the time of the first one, it was so ridiculously new that we were not used to it, so we didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I mean, I like the revamp, and I think that's part of what makes it just so interesting. One of the things about that makes survival horror very, very, very fun is to have that element of, something is in danger, and you have to try to protect what you have as to be not in danger. I actually like how they start you out in the dining room instead of the main hall. Or maybe did they always? I don't remember. Yeah, alright. Anyway. But as I was saying, like, just having a let's let Barry talk here. Because, you know, it might or might not be somebody else's blood.
Take a look at this.
What is it?
Now, what is he going to be examining exactly? I mean, does he have a magnifying glass with him? I mean, he looks like he's got like some Indiana Jones straps there. So, you know, I mean, he could, but I mean, those look like pistol straps, pistol pouches. But, well, yeah, okay, that's fine. Just examine the blood. So, as I was saying, like, the horror element of just, take the emblem, yes. The horror element of just having something to lose and actually, like, make it seem like, you know, to give it that sense that, oh, you actually care about not dying or not losing at whatever you're playing. You know, it's just, it makes it, now let's see if I can do the quick turn. Oh, there we go. It's those two, okay. Good. Okay, so, anyhow, just to make it what it should be, you know, like, just a reason to play it, I guess you would say. Yeah, it's a zombie, it's a Zambambi. It's, you know. So, because we don't like wasting ammo, regardless of how much we actually have, we'll let the big man, Big B, take care of it. Although, you know, if you shoot this thing anyway, and actually, I think you still get this cutscene anyhow. I don't know if it's like that in this one, but in the original, it actually does matter. Like, it doesn't matter whether you do it or not, because this cutscene ends up happening anyway, whether you actually kill this zombie or not. Yeah, so round 2, Barry.
Take care of it.
The element of horror, now, obviously it was done very well. It was done perfectly with this revamp, I would say. Now, something was obviously like that, for example. Now, obviously, they strung away with it with Resident Evil 4, and I don't disagree with it, but I do. Because I think that, you know, financially, I guess it went to a different form. But the thing is that a lot of people call Resident Evil 4 a curse and a blessing. But, like, it's hard to really call it that, to be honest with you, because I don't see it as being that much of a blessing, because the game is not really, it seems okay, but it's not super great. Like, it could be a lot better. I don't know what people saw in it that was made it so great, but like I don't think that the Master unlocking, none of that stuff is actually here. But as I was saying, I don't think that's that much of a blessing. Like Symphony of the Night, we would all agree, is a curse and a blessing because of how many games just like go through that element of repeating it in some way, shape, or form. But also, I think that there is no way that you can tell me that Resident Evil 4 is the Symphony of the Night of the Resident Evil series. It's just, like, I don't get where anybody would come up with that. I understand why some people might say it was innovative, and I guess in a way it kind of needed to be for its time. But, I don't get why it's given the praise that it's given, because it's just kind of like too actiony. It's no longer about horror, and I think that is something that tank controls and making the player feel uncomfortable with learning something mixed with just this environment and not knowing what's going to happen are the two or three greatest keys to making a horror game. And oh yes, here we go. Here's the map system. After the first floor. So anyway, But obviously there were a ton of issues with 5, and which proved that 4 was not really as good as people think it is. Now, financially, it might have made them a little more money because it kind of, broadened the horizon of Resident Evil, but that doesn't really show people what Resident Evil is all about. It just basically sells the company out to whatever. Yeah, a little more. So, anyhow, but part of the issue that I think that is the case, and then 6 is just, oh my gosh, we won't even go there, but, there's an obvious need for understanding that this is not a series that you can just, toy around with, because it's one of Capcom's biggest biggest franchises that I would call it a landmark franchise, really. That's a good term to coin. Now, this is the part, let me just cut myself off, where you're given a test. You're given a defense item, your first defense item, and you're given the iconic hallway where you have to deal with your first zombie, and if you cannot dodge him, you lose your defense item. We will try to see what we can do. And if we can remember the controls, because it's been quite a while, but, we'll see what we got. Now, I think in the first game you could dodge him, but in the original game, you could dodge him, but in this game, I don't think it's possible, if I recall. Ah, gosh. Well, that ends that. Bam. It's a little too close, but alright, whatever. Anyway, I think I usually lose the knife there. So you just do that, and now he's stuck there. I like how the music didn't kick in until I got out to this room. That was a little strange. Ooh. And now just it's gone. Okay. Do I have the ammo to handle you? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, so there's a one shot at me, jeez. So sword key, right? Oh, he's not down. But, like, where should the Resident Evil series go now? That's tough, because it went in such a... Like, the games have been just heavily just veering off the course that is Resident Evil just to make extra money, I guess. And now at this point, I don't even think Resident Evil like, it can make extra money on the route it's taken. Like, it's basically like when it switched its course to this more action-y thing, it kind of had its like 15 minutes with 5 and 4. But now it's just like, it's gone, and that's it. It's done, you know? And now what it needs to do is just go back to what it's best at, you know? Or, I mean, it's not to say they can't try something new, but it's more to say that they probably shouldn't. I would say they should try to do something similar to this, I would say. But I would say, you know, something in the realm of actually making it horror based before innovating anything else with the series. Now there is also Shinji Mikami, who's making Evil Within, and I don't know much information about that, honestly. But, I mean, Well, he's good at what he does, so I don't see why he wouldn't, but we'll see. Hey, epic slow frame rates. It's going haywire. We do have a lot of stuff running up, but one of the main points that I wanted to bring up, especially in this video, was that there's, obviously there's been talk about, Oculus Rift news shuffling about, and this news still feels really new. And because the Oculus Rift hasn't actually come out as a console, as far as I know. I guess somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like it, because, nothing's come. It doesn't seem like it's an actual console. The developer kit didn't seem like it was an actual console. So, I don't know if we'll see something. It would be nice too, but, if we don't, then that's, whatever. So, but one thing I wanted to bring up in this video, because that sort of news has been floating around so much, that I wanted to, go into the question about, what do you think, would be a good game or good set of titles to produce for Oculus Rift as a console. And honestly, I don't think that, so far I haven't heard many people having ideas, because the thing that you have to remember is that a lot of people, I don't know if they're really thinking that much about it, what their actual ideas are, because they might not know what the display is going to look like. And because you have to remember that the Virtual Boy is not what this console is supposed to look like. And yeah, I knew you weren't down. But the Oculus Rift is supposed to be you basically be in first person mode. First person shooters can easily adapt this very well, but I don't think that would be a great decision. Well, it wouldn't be a bad decision, but I don't think it would be great in the factor of just being the only genre that's for this but one of the things that comes up often, the only other thing that comes up very often is horror games, and this actually comes from a medical perspective, because in reality, this Oculus Rift is going to be, tethered to your face. So, well, not tethered to your face, but it's going to be attached to your face. So, I mean, a lot of people are, there are concerns about that because, because of people's heart rates and, stuff like that with horror games. Like, could you imagine this in Jill? You would be seeing the game through Jill's eyes right now. That would be tough because you have a limitation of not only being able to see what Jill sees, and B, it's also you have peripheral vision, but you don't have vision the way you have vision now, where it looks like there's camera angles just pointed everywhere. So, you're obviously very handicapped in that regard.